drafted 2 quarterbacks. They wanted us to pay attention. We got a reason to pay attention.
Yeah.
A lot of people believe that Shedeur Sanders could be that guy. He's a polarizing guy off the football field. He does all the right things as far as being in the community and being present, especially with the youth. And if it all comes together on a football field, then man, that would be one hell of a story to have him be the franchise quarterback of.
It's going to be tough on Dillon Gabriel. He's in a tough spot. The public social media favors Shedeur Sanders. He's going to have to fight the battle of public opinion where most people are going to be on Shedeur's side. Here's Shedeur and the cultural young icon he is. Here we are taking a picture as the rookies. The first pose they come up with is Shedeur's pose. Let me show you my rollie and put the wrist up. And how do you think Dillon Gabriel feels about that? He's like, wait, what are you guys doing? They're like, we're doing the Shedeur. So he's really got an uphill battle. So not only does Shedeur have the proverbial chip on his shoulder, and now Dillon Gabriel's got to deal with, wait, I was the guy that was drafted before Shedeur, and they're going to talk about Shedeur.
Let's jump ahead, because when Shedeur Sanders steps into training camp, it doesn't look like practice anymore. It looks like a highlight reel set to a diss track. Dillon Gabriel showed up ready to ball, but by the end, his biggest play might be calling his lawyer instead of throwing a touchdown. This isn't football right now. It's courtroom energy colliding with pure gridiron fire. Did Shedeur really drop dimes so perfect they should have come with a handle with care label? Or is Dillon just out here catching emotions instead of passes? Whatever side you're on, one thing's clear. This quarterback drama is turning wild, and it's only getting spicier. If you're feeling this madness, smash that subscribe button. It helps way more than you think. Dillon Gabriel strutted into camp like he owned the field. Chin up, cleats gleaming, ego charged to the max. He thought he was about to host a quarterback masterclass. Then Shedeur Sanders walked in, calm, collected, fresh drip, full swagger. The whole vibe flipped in seconds. Shedeur didn't just play, he performed. Every throw was a message, every spiral a flex. Those passes sliced through the air, so clean, the FAA might have sent a warning. His routes, straight surgical. Defenders need a GPS just to stay within the same zip code. But yeah, potentially it got that deep. Next thing you know, teammates were laughing behind helmets and the practice field turned into a full-blown rumor war zone. Word started spreading faster than a group chat after midnight. Dillon Gabriel allegedly went from running quarterback drills to running legal drills. That's right, after getting his pride snatched clean off the turf, dude started dialing lawyers. Forget calling plays, he was flipping through case files like he was prepping for trial. Now the league's buzzing like a packed barbershop on a Friday. Everyone debating, is this competition, comedy, or a straight-up scandal? One thing's certain, Shedeur Sanders didn't just dominate the field, he rewrote the playbook. Let's be real, there's no official lawsuit called Embarrassed versus Sanders, but come on, this whole situation felt like the NFL's version of an HR crisis. Shedeur walked in like a man on a mission, that calm but deadly energy that screams, I've been waiting all offseason for this moment. His jersey, flying off shelves faster than a Supreme drop.
Both the Browns' rookie quarterbacks are being positioned, in their opinion, to start games this upcoming season, but how each quarterback is on a completely different developmental path for the summer here. So they said Shedeur Sanders is the one being, quote, carefully nurtured in a controlled environment, and Dillon Gabriel is being, quote, thrown directly into the fire against the team's best defenders. So that's where we transition over to this article that says why Dillon Gabriel is getting first-team reps while Shedeur Sanders waits his turn. So they talk about Gabriel working with Flacco, Pickett, first teams, and Shedeur, like I said, often works with himself on a different field.
And training camp, please, it wasn't practice, it was a movie set. Cameras could have rolled and it'd be an instant blockbuster. Dillon walked into camp thinking he was the guy, the chosen one, the veteran presence, the locker room grown up. But nah, Shedeur wasn't there to share the throne. He came to own the kingdom. The poise, the confidence, the ice cold reads, all locked in. That arm, man, it turns pressure into straight up poetry. Every third down looked like a chill warm up for the highlight cameras. Gabriel thought it was a competition, but what he got was a front row seat to a masterclass in domination. Shedeur transformed that field into Broadway, starring in a one-man show called This Is My Offense Now. No co-stars, no understudies, just him running the entire production like a director who doesn't do retakes. By Act 2, Dillon looked lost, like an extra who wandered on stage without a script. Shedeur wasn't just throwing passes, he was breaking the laws of physics. Sidearms curved like trick shots. Deep bombs dropped with surgical precision, and those quick slants, so clean defenders were spinning like malfunctioning GPS systems. Then, just for fun, he threw a few no-look passes. Not because he had to, but because he could. That's disrespectful confidence right there. Meanwhile, poor Dillon's checkdowns look like surrender letters. Every throw silently begging, please don't bench me. And here's where the real chaos started to bubble up. Whispers started sliding through the locker room like smoke, quiet but impossible to ignore. Word around the facility was that Dillon's camp wasn't too happy with how things were going down. Unfair treatment, they said. Not official, of course. Nobody wants to publicly admit they got dismantled by a dude who walked in like he had his own movie soundtrack and Hollywood-level confidence. But behind closed doors, oh, the talk got crazy. There were claims of playbook favoritism, biased reps, even something called a hostile throwing environment. Whatever that means. Suddenly, this wasn't football anymore. It was turning into a courtroom episode of Hard Knocks. Next thing you know, there's a meeting brewing. And not with coaches, but with lawyers. The kind who probably haven't touched a football since the Super Bowl halftime show. You know it's messy when legal teams start requesting practice film. Just picture it. A bunch of suits sitting in a conference room, pausing slow motion replays, whispering stuff like, does this spiral count as emotional damage? It's wild. Straight comedy, honestly. And the funniest part? Shedeur Sanders wasn't even out there trying to humiliate anybody. He was just being himself. Calm under pressure, smooth with the rock, deadly accurate every single rep. Shedeur wasn't flexing or running his mouth. He didn't need to. He just kept throwing touchdown after touchdown like it was a group project and he was the only one who actually read the directions. Meanwhile, Dillon Gabriel looked like his PowerPoint presentation froze mid-slide, stuck, stressed, and praying for a reboot. Nobody's saying Dillon doesn't have talent. He's got it. But when the tempo cranked up and the lights hit, the difference was brutal. It was crystal clear who was running the show and who was calling tech support. The visuals, straight up harsh. Shedeur was launching ropes so smooth they could slice air, making linebackers question their whole life choices. Meanwhile, Dillon was giving the clipboard that side-eye like it just ghosted him. The energy on that field was wild. Pure theater. You could feel it from the sidelines, from the stands, even from the trainers.
I can imagine there's many people that think Dillon Gabriel's a better quarterback than Shedeur Sanders. I don't care where they were drafted. And if the Browns are the one team that thinks that, then I'm going to suspect it's not true. They don't know what they're doing.
They've been on every quarterback evaluation for 30 years.
Right.
I never root against anybody.
Yeah.
But I'd be surprised if Dillon Gabriel's ever a legitimate starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. I- I'd be surprised. I just don't think.
Well, then it is a wasted pick because you took him in the top 100.
Yeah, but potentially may get away with it because
Pretending to check water bottles. The crowd wasn't just watching football, they were watching a takeover happen in real time. And let's talk about those receivers. They picked a side real quick. When Shedeur stepped under center, they moved like their draft stock depended on it. Crisp routes, sharp cuts, full speed, every step like it mattered. But when Dillon took over, man, it looked like a rainy day gym class. Jogging, half-hearted routes, waiting for the bell to save them. Then came the whispers, spreading through the locker room like wildfire. Could Dillon handle another transfer? Could he stomach a whole season watching highlight reels of the guy who took his dream spot? It wasn't even quarterback 1 versus quarterback 2 anymore. At some point, everyone started whispering the same thing. Why is Dillon still here? But here's the real kicker. It wasn't just that Shedeur Sanders outplayed him, it was how he did it. Effortless swagger, calm confidence, that quiet energy that says, I've been that guy, and I'm only getting better. This wasn't luck. This wasn't just a hot day at camp. This was a full-on clinic in domination. And poor Dillon, he had front row seats for every snap. By the end of practice, the scoreboard didn't even matter. The real score was written across the faces of every player who just witnessed Shedeur cook, live and unfiltered. Even the defense, those big, loud, fearless dudes, walked off the field looking like they'd just been spiritually baptized by a football wizard. And Dillon? He looked like he was mentally typing up a cease and desist for excessive excellence. Each minute, his confidence drained a little more, while Shedeur's momentum grew like a storm that wouldn't stop building. Let's be real. Maybe the whole legal action talk was a stretch. Maybe just locker room gossip turned into a viral snowball. But in today's world, rumors travel faster than a 4.3 40-yard dash. The second this story slipped out of the facility, the internet went crazy. Twitter exploded with memes, TikTok was flooded with slow-motion edits of Shedeur's throws set to dramatic background music, and every sports page online had one question spinning through the comments, is Dillon done? And over on Reddit, oh, it got wild fast. Somebody was already posting courtroom sketches like, this was a full-blown quarterback custody trial. The captions were ruthless. One post said, you can keep the short routes, Dillon, but the deep balls? Sole legal possession, Shedeur Sanders fans were eating it up like popcorn during a Netflix binge. By day 3 of training camp, this wasn't even about football anymore. It was a cultural event. Shedeur had turned drills into cinema, reps into art, and confidence into a trending topic. Every flick of his wrist had social media in meltdown mode. Highlight edits, fan tributes, even fantasy football memes were everywhere. Meanwhile, poor Dillon was trending too, but for all the wrong reasons. His name became the punchline in the same clips that made Shedeur look untouchable. Every side-by-side comparison just made the gap feel wider. One man looked destined, the other looked doomed. And now the million-dollar question? If Shedeur Sanders is already rewriting the script during practice, what's gonna happen when the real games start? When the lights hit brighter, the cameras never stop rolling, and the scoreboard finally keeps score for real? The world's about to see who's built for prime time and who's just trying to survive it. Let's be honest, Dillon Gabriel's biggest opponent isn't Shedeur's stats. It's his momentum. You can't file a motion to dismiss a man who just turned training camp into a Netflix-level sports documentary. Because Shedeur isn't just quarterback one, he's the whole production. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders just kept doing what he does best, dropping dimes, dodging drama, and proving that sometimes greatness isn't earned. It's inevitable.
Dillon Gabriel, you are a crybaby. Go cry in the corner. You want to storm off of the field because Shedeur, Mr. Legendary, you hear me? He beat you out to get the first team reps. You hear me? Understand, he started from 4th team reps, the 3rd team reps, the 2nd team reps. Now he first team reps. Yeah, you was recruiting all your little linemen and making your own little alliance. You hear me? Ain't no telling what you was telling them folks that was agreeing with the alliance with you. You hear me? But this is why the Browns
Every throw, every move, every stare, it was like watching confidence on autopilot. But just when everyone thought Dillon Gabriel had accepted his fate as background noise in the Shedeur Sanders highlight universe, he decided to flip the script with a plot twist nobody saw coming. Forget being subtle. No cryptic quotes, no vague Instagram captions. This man allegedly went full courtroom mode. Reports started flying that Dillon's bruised ego wasn't just emotional, it was legal. Somewhere in some law office, a confused attorney probably picked up the phone and heard, "Yes, I'd like to file a claim for being publicly out quarterback." You can almost hear the silence on the other end of that call. And here's the crazy part. By even doing that, Dillon might have just proved every concern fans already had. The whispers about his shaky arm strength, the slow reads, the panic when pressure hits, all of it suddenly felt a little too real. Because if anxiety were an official quarterback trait, Dillon would have been first ballot Hall of Fame. You could see the effort, no doubt. The man was trying. But when effort meets execution, the gap becomes painfully obvious. Every throw looked like hesitation wrapped in hope, like he wanted greatness but couldn't quite grab it. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders is standing there on the sideline, cool, calm, unbothered, like the football version of Thanos just watching chaos unfold. You can almost see the thought running through his head. Whenever you're done, I'll take it from here. That quiet confidence, unshakable. And the fans, oh, they're loud about it. Every time Dillon Gabriel misses a pass, the crowd erupts like it's a touchdown. Not for him, but for Shedeur. Every slip-up becomes a standing ovation moment for the golden boy out of Colorado. You can feel the shift. Every eye in the building locked on one man, and it ain't Dillon. Even the haters, those online critics who've spent months trying to downplay Shedeur's rise, are running out of excuses fast. Their entire storyline is collapsing in real time. You can see the panic in their posts. They're scrambling, switching takes mid-sentence, spinning faster than a DJ who just skipped a beat at a wedding. It's awkward, it's desperate, and it's completely off rhythm. Because the truth is now front and center. And no PR team, lawyer, or media narrative can save Dillon from what's coming next. When a player like Shedeur Sanders starts stacking highlights this early, it's not just talent, it's a warning shot to the whole league. This isn't about competition anymore. It's about evolution. Other teams aren't preparing to face him. They're preparing to study him. Every rep, every throw, every moment is filmed for future rookies on how to move like a pro before you even get your nameplate polished. Like they didn't spend the whole offseason hyping Dillon up as the transfer portal messiah. One spotlight moment. That's all it took for the truth to come crashing out. And man, it's brutal because Shedeur Sanders didn't just outplay Dillon, he exposed his limits. And those limits, yeah, they looked a lot like a clipboard with a half-written Starbucks order taped to the back. pure background energy. But here's the funniest part. Dillon's downfall isn't some scandal or injury story. Nope, it's simpler and way harsher than that. He just got a front row seat to the Shedeur Sanders experience. And once the show started, there was no unseeing it. The man witnessed greatness up close, and it messed him up bad. Now the receipts are flying everywhere. Screenshots, memes, side by side.
So representatives for Dillon Gabriel reached out to me to try to give me a cease and desist order and ready and rock and roll, ready to go to court. So I triple dare your representatives to take me to court. In fact, Dillon Gabriel, I want you, bitch boy, take me to court. Let's fast forward.
Highlight comparisons, total chaos. Coaches aren't whispering in private anymore either. They're making those silent knowing looks that say, yeah, we all saw that, right? Reporters, they're done guessing. They're already editing highlight reels. Even the practice squad guys are giving Dillon that awkward, I believe in you, bro, pat on the back. The one that really means pack it up, man. The tension around the facility feels heavier than game day rain. And the internet? Oh, the internet's having the time of its life. Someone literally started a countdown clock titled, Days Until Shedeur is Officially QB1 Forever. Fans are posting reaction GIFs. Rival fan bases are laughing, and analysts are rewriting their preseason predictions mid-show. The comment section has turned into a full-blown battlefield. Half in awe, half in denial, but everyone's locked in on the same saga. Every clip, every quote, every laser throw from Shedeur Sanders just keeps pouring gasoline on an already blazing story. And poor Dillon, he's out here trying to survive a narrative that already left him in the dust. But let's spin back to Shedeur for a second, because while the world's spinning out, he's staying ice cold. No trash talk, no theatrics, no forced PR stunts, just precision, quiet, lethal, consistent. That calm, unbothered energy hits different when it's backed up by pure results. He doesn't chase the spotlight, it chases him. Even when he's chilling on the sidelines, somehow every conversation still circles back to his name. That's not PR, that's presence. And the thing is, Shedeur Sanders earned every bit of it. Nothing was handed to him. He waited his turn, studied the game, and sharpened every weapon in his arsenal until there was nothing left for anyone to doubt. Every rep, every read, every throw, built from patience and precision. Now that he's finally taking first-team snaps, it's game over. The offense doesn't just work under Shedeur, it thrives. The rhythm's cleaner, the timing's tighter, the chemistry's on fire. Receivers are running routes like their next contract depends on it. The O-line's blocking like rent's due tomorrow morning. Coaches are grinning like they just unlocked a hidden cheat code in real life. When Shedeur Sanders steps into the frame, every single snap feels like a statement, calm, collected, and completely locked in. The man moves like he's got the entire field under remote control. Meanwhile, somewhere off to the side, Dillon Gabriel's still clutching that clipboard, staring at a reality that's already sprinted past him. The difference is night and day. One man commanding the moment, the other just watching it happen. And now, even defensive coordinators are sweating bullets. Some are already updating their resumes because the film doesn't lie. Shedeur Sanders is out here wrecking schemes like it's personal. Here's the real kicker. He's not just making plays, he's making statements. Every perfect dime he drops is a message, a warning shot aimed at every critic.
It's a very interesting situation. And again, here we go. Browns fans, we find ourselves in a situation where a player or two on the team can just completely divide the fan base. And one thing that I am getting sick and tired of already, and I'm going to bitch about this and fight people on this tooth and nail forever, it seems like. Just because I post something positive about Dillon Gabriel does not mean I hate Shedeur Sanders. And just because I post something about Shedeur does not mean I hate Dillon Gabriel. I actually believe that it's okay to support both rookie.
Every hater, every doubter who ever said he's just Deion's son, now that talk's done. All that noise, straight up nonsense. This man's legit, and not just college highlight reel good. We're talking NFL scouts in the bleachers, clipboard out, eyes wide kinda good. He's got that rare mix, ice cold poise, elite IQ, and that freaky clutch gene that makes you believe he could convert a 3rd and 22 barefoot in a thunderstorm. Every drop back looks like destiny in motion. Chaos turns calm, pressure turns peaceful, and every spiral spins like it's written by fate. You can feel it, that moment where talent meets timing, and something special clicks into place. And now even the harshest critics are starting to crack. They wanted Shedeur Sanders to fold under pressure, to fumble the spotlight, to finally prove them right, but instead, he leveled up. Every rep, every snap, every read turned into art. This isn't just football anymore. This is a public masterclass in quarterback supremacy. Shedeur Sanders isn't just raising the bar, he's rebuilding it. Every flick of his wrist rewrites the standard and makes history look effortless. Meanwhile, poor Dillon Gabriel's reps are starting to look like courtesy minutes, like someone lost a bet and now has to pretend this competition still matters. Every throw he makes feels less like hope and more like a delay of the inevitable, and everyone knows it. The coaches see it, the players feel it, the fans sense it. The second Shedeur steps onto that field, it's not just practice anymore, it's a billboard-sized warning to the entire league that screams, "I'm coming." At this point, nobody even needs to name him QB1. The decision's already made in the hearts of everyone who matters. The locker room knows, the stands know, and deep down, even Dillon knows. That's why all this so-called legal drama even started. Not because of fairness, but because reality hit too hard to handle. Because when Shedeur Sanders takes that field, the whole story changes. The crowd shifts, the momentum bends, and the game itself feels like it's orbiting around him. Every opponent, even the ones who come armed with excuses, lawyers, or media spin, learns the same truth. When Shedeur Sanders shows up, it's game over. So if you made it this far, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this wild story with your crew. And don't forget to drop a comment with your take. I'll catch you on the next one, but one thing's already certain. Shedeur Sanders didn't just win the reps, he won the room.